Haribol.
Good afternoon, everyone. Live from Silicon Valley, California. This is Bhakti Community. My name is JM, and I welcome you all to a program today, Bhakti On, where today we'll discuss nothing is neutral. Your senses are training you every day, forward or backward. With our speaker today, Vijay. Vijay has been a monk for over 47 years. And he has been practicing bhakti yoga, dedicating his life to uplift his own consciousness as well as everyone around him. He has traveled more than 65 countries. He has been leading the propagation or spreading of transcendental wisdom literature across the globe. And he has traveled across many countries, opened several centers. So really excited and happy to welcome Vijay today on our Bhakti On program, and looking forward to our session today. Welcome, Vijay.
Thank you, JM. Nice seeing all of you. Yeah, this is interesting discussion about the senses, how we can either go forward or go backward. Of the senses, the sense of hearing is the most important because from hearing comes understanding. And it's interesting that there was one great devotee, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who he was a famous writer, and he wrote a lot of poems. And he says in one poem, "The flesh is not my own, alas, the mortal frame a chain. The soul confined for former wrong should try to rise again. Why then this childish play in that which is not my own, which falls within 100 years, as if a rose are blown?" So actually, we're not our senses; we're the soul within. But due to this uh, desire to try to be the enjoyer, to be the proprietor, we're in this situation where we have these senses, and now we can either go forward or we can go backward. And the best way to go forward is by hearing from people who are advanced spiritually, just like you regularly have Vaisheshika Maharaj on here, and he's a great personality for getting spiritual wisdom and going forward. Another who was his teacher is Srila Prabhupada, who from the early part of his life he was teaching this Vedic knowledge, and his spiritual master instructed him to go to the West, to come to America. And even though people couldn't understand his accent very well, by his purity, just by his purity, people were becoming attracted. And of course, a lot of people could also understand. So hearing is very important. And hearing also means reading. Reading is a silent hearing. It's like I found the Bhagavad Gita in a library 48 years ago. And from reading the Bhagavad Gita, I could understand that I'm not this body, I'm not these senses. I'm something different, and I don't even belong in this world. There's another place beyond this world, the spiritual world. So I was so amazed by the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita that I embraced the teachings, and by the grace of the Supreme, I'm still embracing it. So this hearing is so important. Uh, People who are on the spiritual journey, uh, they see with their ears. They see with their ears. Because wise people, they speak this wisdom, and people who are interested in spiritual life, they hear and they're attracted. Because, yeah, hearing is the most important. From reading the Bhagavad Gita, I wanted to find out where people were that lived these teachings. And I was eventually directed to the temple in Miami, Florida. So hearing is so important. And it's stated that a deaf person can hear kindness. A deaf person can hear kindness, and a blind person can see kindness. And some of you may know of this person named Helen Keller. She's one of the most famous ladies in America, but she was blind, deaf, and therefore she couldn't speak as well. But this very kind lady helped her. Her parents were actually just going to send her away, but this very kind lady helped her, and she taught her so much. She taught her so much she was able to go to college, and she was the first lady who was deaf and blind to graduate from college. So this is kindness. And by being kind to others, this is very good for our spiritual life. And the kindest people are the people who are trying to give this message to others. And this was the instruction that was given to Prabhupada by his spiritual master, to give this knowledge, because to hear the absolute truth is what is most important in life. Now people are hearing so many things. Now social media is big. Practically everybody is on social media, and there's millions of things to choose from. Choose so many different things. But is it beneficial to hear these things? I would say not. A lot of people are going backwards. Of course, there's some positive things there, but there's a lot of negative things. But if one hears spiritual wisdom from a devotee, from someone who is practicing spiritual life, then one grows in spiritual life and goes forward. And there's a lot of people that are teaching other things that are not beneficial. For instance, I met one person. My main service in this society is I distribute books. So I met one person, and I asked him, so what kind of work do you do? He said, well, I'm God. So, well, that's quite a big position you have there. And then I said, well, one of the characteristics of God is that he knows everything. So can you tell me what I'm thinking? He said, yes, you're thinking I'm a rascal. I said, very good. You're right. But I was also thinking of a number. Can you tell me that number? I said, no. So there's a lot of cheaters. There's people out there teaching others that you're God. Another person, he had this T-shirt. On the T-shirt it said, I used to be an atheist, but then he had some dots there. Then on the backside, then I realized I'm God. So there's a lot of wrong teaching going on there. So we have to be careful about who we're hearing from, and how do you know if we're hearing from the right source? Well, there's a statement called Phalina Parichiyate, that you judge by the results. And I've been, by the mercy of the Supreme, Krishna, I've been practicing this for 48 years, and I see nice results coming. Now it's mentioned that there's 4 defects of the conditioned soul. One is that we have imperfect senses. This discussion is about senses, our senses. So we all have imperfect senses. So how do we know if something is right, if something is wrong? We have imperfect senses. Another one is we make mistakes. Because we have imperfect senses, we sometimes make mistakes. right? We all make mistakes. To err is human. And then again, another one is we have a tendency to be an illusion. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that we're not our senses, we're not this body, but we're actually the soul within. So the major illusion in the world is that people think that I'm something that I'm not. I'm American, I'm Russian, I'm Chinese, I'm Indian. These are illusions. And because of this illusion, then also is the cheating propensity enters. So these are the four defects of the conditioned soul. But if one takes the spiritual life, then one can overcome these defects, because the pure soul doesn't have these defects. And the whole goal of the human form of life is to purify the senses, to purify the mind. Actually, the mind is the center of all the senses, because the let's say the tongue wants to taste something, but the mind is controlling. Just like, I'll give you an example. I was in Europe, and there was two ladies that were rather overweight. They weighed about 250 pounds each, and they were in front of a bakery, and they were looking at cakes. And Krishna has this ability; he's able to eat with his eyes. So I think these girls were trying to take Krishna's position a little bit. They knew they couldn't eat it, so they were kind of just appreciating it with their eyes. So the tongue, that's another sense. We have to control the tongue. A big problem in America is obesity. It's a huge problem. People can't control their tongue. And America also, unfortunately, happens to be the king of junk food. So much junk food, hamburgers, French fries, hot dogs, so many things that are just that are horrible, actually. I read recently that in the Bible, it is said, "I give you every seed-giving plant and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food." This is in the Bible. That's not even vegetarian. That's vegan. That's vegan. This is in the Bible. Amazing. I met one Christian about, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago, and he said he was vegetarian. I said, "Wow, you're Christian, you're vegetarian?" He said, "Yeah, I read it in the Bible." He read that. It's in Genesis 1, chapter 1, text 29. So I was like, "Wow, you're a real Christian." So the Bible uh, explains that one should be vegan, actually. So, but people, unfortunately, as Prabhupada would say, it's very rare to find a true Christian, because it's difficult to follow. Also, it's difficult to follow the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. In general, it's difficult because we're conditioned souls, and we have so many desires. Our senses are pulling this way and they're pulling that way, and to control the senses is difficult. A person who controls the senses is called a Goswami, someone who's able to control the senses. And it said that if one is able to control the senses, the urge to speak, the mind's demand, the tongue, belly, and genitals, such a person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So to control the senses is not easy. A person who doesn't control the senses, he's called a Godas. So a Goswami is someone who is able to control the senses, and if one is able to control the senses, then his spiritual life is going very well. So in our process, we also have something called prasadam. for the tongue. The tongue is difficult to control, but we have something called prasadam, which is food that is sanctified. And people who honor this prasadam, they live very healthy lives because in general the prasadam is also healthy, it's tasty and it's healthy, and it's honored or accepted by Krishna, so it becomes sanctified food. So another sense is the eyes. Srila Prabhupada, our teacher, he said that if you look at a beautiful flower long enough, you'll conclude that there must be a creator. So many beautiful things. It's like rainbows. We don't get many rainbows here in the Bay Area, but I remember I saw one maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago. It was just beautiful. It was took up a good portion of the sky. And one neighbor was walking out of her apartment and she didn't see it. And I told her to look up. And she looked and she said, wow, wow, it was amazing. So beautiful. This is Krishna is the best artist. Yeah, he's got a big canvas there. The sky. And so many things. Now it's summertime and trees are blossoming. Just outside my window here, there's a big tree. It's about 20 feet high, and it has all these pink flowers blooming from it. It's just like a big pink bush. It's like amazing. So there's so many beautiful things to see, but there's also things that can go us that can help us go the wrong way, wrong direction. It's like a big thing in social media is pornography, unfortunately, and so many horrible things happen from this. So the eyes should be utilized actually in the service of the Supreme. And reading books, that's one way, and associating with the devotees, just like right now we're having this Zoom. So we're able to see each other, to see devotees. It's also good for the eyes. So there's things that we can do that can help us grow spiritually, and many things that can make us go backwards. So we have to be careful about how we live our life. It's a training. Just like these people that do Olympics, they train so much for years. So the goal of the human form of life is to become pure. And this takes training. And now we have a process of purification. It's called mantra meditation. And we have this Hare Krishna mantra that I think everyone is familiar with. Srila Prabhupada, he says in the Nectar of Devotion that there's that in India there's these, of course, not everywhere, but practically everywhere, there's snakes that bite. There's poisonous snakes. So in India, there's these people that could chant mantras that cause the venom to have no effect on the person, and the person becomes healthy just by mantras, believe it or not. So Prabhupada said that the living entities in this world, they get bitten by the bite of Maya. Maya means illusion. And the illusion is that one becomes bewildered by anger and greed and envy and illusion. And to get free of this venom is very difficult. But this mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra, is so powerful that one becomes free of these impurities. So much so that one can become completely pure, and the senses also get pure. The mind is the most. It's called the sixth sense. The mind is the most difficult sense to purify. In the Uddhava Gita, Krishna says, uh, he says, of difficult things to conquer, I am the mind. So it's not easy. All of us have had experience. The mind is very fickle. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says that the mind is it's chanchalam, it's fickle. Chanchalam it's pramati, it's mad. Bhagavad, it's powerful, it's very powerful. It's very strong. And to control the mind is more difficult than to control the wind. So it's very difficult to control the mind, difficult to control the senses. But Krishna goes on to say, but it's possible by practice and by detachment. As it is said, practice makes perfect. And also by detachment. The more we realize that we're not the body, we're not the senses, but we're the soul within, then it becomes easier and easier to control the senses, to engage the senses for a higher cause. And the highest cause is to engage the senses in the service of the Supreme, who also has senses. Krishna also has senses. And devotees of the Lord, they offer things to Krishna as a service. And this purifies the mind, this purifies the senses. And the more we realize that we're the soul, the more we advance very quickly in spiritual life. And this mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra, this is one of the benefits of chanting this mantra, is that one comes to understand, to realize that we're actually the soul within, that we're not the mind, we're not the body, we're not the senses. And actually, this is a big step in a spiritual journey, but it's a necessary step. And one should try very hard. If we get something easily, then we also give it up easily. So therefore, Krishna, he doesn't make it so easy. It makes it a little difficult. Then once we actually achieve it, we'll never give it up. We'll never want to give it up. And this is the highest goal, is to get this realization of our spiritual identity and realization of the identity of the Supreme Person, and to render service. In one commentary of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada, he says the most congenial way to show your affection to someone is by service. Just like a man meets a girl, or a girl meets a man, and they want to do something. They want to do something for each other. What kind of food do you like? Or a man might ask, well, what kind of flowers do you like? Or they want to do some service. And when they get married and they have a child, and they want to do service for the child. Just like when I distribute books, quite often I'll meet families. And the boy or girl in the family, maybe 10 or 12, I'll offer the books to them. And the parents will ask the children sincerely, oh, do you want to read this? And the children usually say, yeah, I would like to read. So they take the book because they want to please the children. So one may ask, well, how to please the Supreme Person? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, always think of me. We have to think of something. So he says, always think of me, become my devotee. Worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you'll come to me because you're my very dear friend. So Krishna is letting us know how to serve. We have to think of something. So if we think of Krishna, then the mind gets purified. The senses get purified. We want to engage the senses in the service of the Supreme Person. become my devotee. So many people are devoted to cheaters. Like I mentioned earlier, there's so many cheaters. So many yogis are teaching people that you're God. I mean, that's a pretty good compliment. I mean, someone might say, "Hey, you have a nice hat there. You got nice glasses. Or, nice suit you have there." Here, these yogis are telling, "Hey, you're God." What a compliment! Hey, I like this guy. So there's a lot of cheating going on. But Srila Prabhupada, he said, "I have not come to cheat you, but I've come to give. I've come to give to you." So we're very fortunate that we're getting knowledge by which we can grow spiritually and learn about the importance of spiritual life. So I forgot how long this goes on, JM.
Yeah, this is 1 hour, but we can take break, get some reflections,
Okay.
questions, and thank you for all those gems. Very practical. But yeah, we do have another 30 minutes.
Okay. Any questions or thoughts about what we discussed so far?
Go ahead, Megan.
I know we are not God, but what do you explain as a God? What is God then?
What is God? That's a good question. God is the supreme person. There's a name for a person called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means he who has all opulences. Now, one may ask, well, okay, what are the opulences? Opulences are things that are we consider to be very wonderful. For instance, if someone is very knowledgeable, that's an opulence. If someone has, believe it or not, there's a person, he's from India, he's got about 18 PhDs. He likes to learn. So this is an opulence, to be very knowledgeable.
Right.
Okay, and another opulence is beauty. If someone is very beautiful, so like if a lady were to be seen by a lot of men, let's say she's Miss America, then all the men would look at her because she's beautiful. Or a very handsome man, beauty is another opulence, and therefore people would like to look beautiful. Therefore, there's so much makeup, and there's what is it, Botox? What is that? What it is?
Yes.
Botox, is that it?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, Botox. Yeah, they get the wrinkles, and then there's also facelifts. They try to get rid of their wrinkles. And people want to look beautiful because it's one of the opulences. So beauty, wealth is another opulence. Now we have this person the owner of Tesla, the most wealthy person in the world. That's another opulence. What's his name? Musk?
Oh, yes, of course. Elon Musk.
Yeah. So that's another opulence. So beauty, wealth, strength. Strength is another opulence. If someone is very strong, there's one person here, I think he lifted up
Then,
580 pounds over his head. That's
yes,
another opulence.
then we need to be having the quality of God. We are not God, but all things he's talking about is something we're trying to become.
We can be godly.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we can be godly. We can't be God. Although Prabhupada sometimes he would say that we're little gods. Just like God, he's the controller and he's the proprietor. That's another definition of God. He's the controller, he controls everything. We can control a little bit, just like you may have your house there, and you can control things in your house. You can move furniture here or move furniture there, and so you're a little controller. You might have a car and you could drive your car certain ways. So that's a little controller, and you might be a proprietor. You own a car, or you own a house, or you own furniture, or you own so many little things. But Krishna, he owns everything. Actually, whatever we have, we're borrowing it. We don't own it. We borrow things. Just like you might have a house, but how long are you going to have that house? We can't have it forever. right? You're going to have your car, but how long are you going to have your car? We're temporarily using things. You know, we're not the permanent. So, but Krishna, he always owns everything. You know, just like Steve Jobs, he was a multi-billionaire, but he left this world, so much money, but he couldn't take anything with him, right? Nothing. We
Right.
can't take anything with us. The only thing we take with us when we die is our desires. So the goal of the human form of life is to purify our desires so that we just desire to serve the Supreme. And if we just have that desire, then what happens is the soul goes back to the spiritual world. We don't have to go through this whole, uh, I'm sure you all understand the reincarnation. I met one lady the other day and she said, "Oh, I don't believe in reincarnation." And I said, "Well, actually, within this lifetime, you've already reincarnated because the soul, the body goes through complete changes. Every 7 years, all the cells reproduce. So you may be 50 years old now. So that's 7 times you've gone through in different bodies. You don't have the same body you have when you're a little girl." And she said, "Wow, that's interesting. All right. Yeah, all right. That's reincarnation. Okay." So then I said, just as you're going through this, baby body and the youth body, now you have the elderly body. So the soul's going to go into another body, according to our karma. But the advantage of the human form of life is that we can become completely purified and stop the whole cycle. It's called the cycle of birth and death, samsara. And there's a nice verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Nehayat karma dharmaya naviragaya kapate, that uh, if one's actions do not bring one to dharma, karma means actions. So if one's actions do not bring one to dharma, if one's dharma does not bring one to renunciation, and if one's renunciation does not bring one to devotional service, then one is considered to be dead, although breathing. So this process of spiritual life, it brings us alive spiritually so that we're able to go out of this whole cycle of birth and death. It's not a nice cycle because no matter what body we're in, no matter what situation we're in, the body's going to die. We're going to get old, we're going to die. Nobody likes to get old, right? People are trying to avoid old age like anything. Srila Prabhupada, he used to say that when I was young, I was an athlete. He said he used to play soccer, but then he said, but now I'm an old man. So he lifted up his arm, and he started moving his arm like this. And he said, now flat tire. So Prabhupada had a good sense of humor. So nobody likes to get old. Nobody likes to get diseased. So these are the problems in the material world. But this process of Krishna consciousness solves all the problems. And we get realization that we're not the senses, but we're the soul within. And what is the nature of the soul? Eternality, knowledge, and bliss. We're all eternal. No one dies. Like I was distributing books in Ireland one time, and I was distributing with a friend, and he was talking to a lady, and the lady said to my friend who was trying to distribute a book to her, she said to my friend, "If I take this home, my husband, he'll kill me." I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but he can't kill you. You're eternal." She said, "Really? I can't die?" "Yeah, you're eternal. You can't die." She said, "Oh, that's so nice because my daughter died and I was lamenting so much. So you're saying she's not dead?" "No, she's not dead. She's living somewhere. The soul is eternal." And she was so happy that she bought a book for my friend. So, so that we're eternal. We have knowledge. Everybody wants knowledge, right? So we're getting spiritual knowledge. This is the most valuable knowledge. The Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, such wonderful knowledge that enlivens the soul. It helps us go in the right direction towards the supreme being, and bliss. We all want happiness. Everything that we're doing is so that we can be happy, right? We all want to be happy. That's the nature of the soul. Even one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, so what is the goal of life? He said to be happy, but you got to know how to be happy. A lot of people think that we have a book called Hiding in Unnatural Happiness. Now, I'm going to ask a question to all of you. What do you think would be considered unnatural happiness?
Material happiness.
Material happiness. Yes, because material happiness has a beginning and it has an end. Well, we don't want an end, right? Nobody wants an end to happiness. Spiritual happiness has no end. It increases. Isn't that what we want? We want our happiness to increase unlimitedly, right? But material happiness, it comes to a certain level, then it decreases, right? Every time. That's the nature of material happiness. So what else? What else? Anybody think of anything? What is
Ishwari has her hand up. Please go ahead, Ishwari.
Ishwari?
Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you so much for, I don't know, every time I hear these talks, I'm like, wow, this is so blissful just hearing about, the higher topics. And it's just helps me appreciate more and more that I'm so blessed that I have this opportunity to hear from such great souls who's realized and who's sharing their realizations, and gives me more courage to go out there and share with others. So thank you so much. I love all these little things you said. I wrote it down. I said I'm going to use this line. But it's so true. It's not that it's a line, but it's like when you talk to people, like how you're doing, just spontaneously, when they say something, you immediately know what to say because you've been studying this bhakti yoga, you've been practicing your whole life. And so that's why it's so natural. And when we hear from you, it's like, I want to be like that.
You distribute books, huh?
Yes.
Oh,
I try.
very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody wants to be happy, but material world, it's not like that. So some of the things that of course, these are things that this gentleman said, material happiness. So some of the major things that people think will bring happiness but are unnatural and cause suffering is millions of people, they're drinking alcohol and it ruins their life. Millions of people are taking drugs and it ruins their life. Millions of people are smoking cigarettes and it ruins their life. So these are three things that are unnatural, but they think will bring happiness. One person recently mentioned to me that when he distributes books, he tells people, "Do you ever feel anxiety?" Or he asks them, "Do you ever feel anxiety?" Of course, everybody feels anxiety. Yeah, I feel anxiety. You'll have to. This will be a nice book for you of anxiety. So that's a, and I tell them it brings inner peace. Everybody also wants peace, right? So much anxiety now. This material world is known as Kunta, a place filled with so much anxiety. But the spiritual world is Vaikunta. And it's mentioned that although we're in this world, if we take spiritual life seriously, we can be liberated even within this lifetime. We don't have to wait. Iha yasya dasya karmana manasagira. So, yeah. So is there any other question? Or
there is one on the board. Kurtz was asking, I think that's strange that God needs to be beautiful as defined by symmetry and fertility. Why can't they be asymmetrical, deformed, and sickly and still be beautiful? If God is all things, then aren't they ugly as well?
oh, very interesting. There's an incarnation of Krishna called the boar. It's called Varaha. He's a boar. He's a pig. Now, one might think, well, we can't be too effective, but it's actually mentioned that uh, that this boar incarnation, Varaha, he has lotus eyes. He is beautiful. He's beautiful. It's the only beautiful bore. So, no, Krishna, he's always he's always beautiful. Why, why can't, when he's God, can't he be ugly? That's then that's not God. That's just one of the natures of God. You might say, well, can't the sky be green, or why is it blue? That's just the way it is. It's just the nature of Krishna. It's just always beautiful. But there are devotees of the Lord who aren't very attractive, but they're beautiful because they're God conscious. So there is that there in devotees. Just like there was this Mataji in our society, her name is Yamuna Devi. She's the one that we hear in the morning, the Govinda prayers. Now, at one point, she got this disease and she became very heavy. Literally, and she weighed like 350 pounds or something, just very big. But to all the devotees, she was beautiful because she was so Krishna conscious. So that's there in devotees, that one may not be very attractive, but because the soul is beautiful, therefore they're attractive. On the other hand, there may be a very beautiful lady or a handsome man, but they're not spiritually advanced. They may even be cruel or dangerous. Then they're not attractive. Although they have a beautiful body, they're not attractive. What makes a person beautiful is the consciousness. And Krishna has the highest consciousness. He has the highest consciousness. He has the most beautiful consciousness. He has unlimited qualities, unlimited wonderful qualities. But there's one quality that stands above all the other qualities of Krishna, and that is his compassion. Krishna is very compassionate. And that's why we're having this Zoom right now. Because before we had this Zoom, Prabhupada went to New York City, and he started in New York City. And from New York City, it spread all over. I'll tell you an interesting thing about Prabhupada. He was in New York City for a year before there was any result. No one had come forward, but Prabhupada is very patient. This is one of the great qualities of a Vaishnava. He's patient. So he waited and waited, and he kept endeavoring. But after 1 year, then youth started coming. So many youth. In New York City, there was an unwritten rule: don't trust anyone over 30, because that was the old generation. Now there's a new generation coming up. Don't trust anyone over 30. Prabhupada shows up, and he's double that. He's 70 years old. And so many of the youth are giving their life to him. Why? Because he was pure. He had a pure conscience. And he was 70 years old, so materially he wasn't that attractive. He's an elderly man. But because he was pure, he was attractive. Very attractive. And therefore there's tens of thousands of pictures of Prabhupada. He's beautiful. He was pure. So he was talking to so many youth, and they were coming and they were joining. And at one point, Prabhupada was with one of his disciples, and this disciple said, "Oh, Prabhupada, I'm going to India now. I'm going to stop off in San Francisco, and then I'm going to go to India." And Prabhupada said, "Oh, that's nice." He just, off the top of his head, nonchalantly, he said, "Oh, while you're in San Francisco, maybe you can start a temple." So he just said, "Yeah, okay," nonchalantly. Nothing was organized or anything. So when he got to San Francisco, he was with some other friends that he met in Oregon, and they started a temple. This is back in 1967. 1967 was the summer of love, and so many hippies were going to San Francisco, and so many of them were coming to they rented a storefront, which became the temple in San Francisco. And so many of them were coming. So many were coming. So eventually they started taking seriously Krishna consciousness. So then Mukunda, he wrote Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I think the people here are ready for you to come to San Francisco. And Prabhupada said, yes, I'm ready. So they sent him a ticket. And he went to the San Francisco airport, flew in. He had never been in a plane before, 70 years old. That must have been quite an experience. So back then, there was no security. So all the devotees were right at the gate where people were coming off the plane. And they were having a loud kirtan, and they were young, so it was very loud. So you can imagine how happy Prabhupada must have been to hear the loud chanting of Hare Krishna in the airport before he even stepped into the city. So he was so happy. He had what you call an oceanic smile. He was so happy to see all the devotees. And from then on, he would send people all over the world, to Los Angeles, to Germany, to Japan, to Australia, all over the world, he was sending people. And from then on, wherever he would go, there would already be devotees. So this is the compassion of a devotee. So Krishna has the ultimate compassion, but that also enters within the heart of the devotee. Compassion, the wonderful, wonderful quality.
Thank
So any
you.
other?
Yeah, we have Ashrita who has had a hand up. Please go ahead, Ashrita.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. I'm so grateful that I'm getting the opportunity to learn from you. And I had a question from unnatural happiness that you talked about earlier, and how materialistic desires are often associated with unnatural happiness. But I had a question regarding that. So, for example, you enjoy a very fancy car, but you attach no meaning of self-worth or self-value to it. So you're kind of detached from all of your materialistic um, things that you own, and you derive no like, oh, I'm unworthy if I don't have that. So, for instance, if say I had a sports car and it was taken away from me, but I was not upset because I don't attach any of my worth or happiness to it. Does that still cause any suffering, or is it a natural happiness?
No, that means you're self-realized.
Mhm.
If you're not attached, then not a problem. But generally, people become attached. You got a nice sports car, generally people they become attached. But devotees are they're not so attached to material things. It's like so many devotees, they have vehicles and they have homes, and they understand this belongs to Krishna. Now, non-devotees, they're very attached, very attached. I remember I was in the San Diego temple, and one person tried to steal a car from somebody. And the owners of the car, they saw that, and they got really angry. They caught that guy and they beat him up because they're so attached. Even though the guy, he didn't even steal the car, they were so upset that he even tried. So they beat him up. So people are very attached. Materialistic people are very attached to material things. Therefore, it's a source of unhappiness. So, but devotees, yeah, you use a car. Krishna's allowing me to use this car now. It's his car. He's allowing me to use it. If it's taken away, well, not mine anyway. It's Krishna's. So if we're detached, that's okay. Actually, that's one of the results, as I mentioned earlier, that if one's work does not bring one to Dharma, if one's Dharma does not bring one to renunciation, if one's renunciation doesn't bring one to Bhakti, one is considered to be dead. So that's a natural result of practicing Krishna consciousness, we become detached. So that's good. If you're not attached to your nice car, that's good. But the big test is when it actually happens, right? So, is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Anything else?
Ishwari Radha posted, when someone has a beautiful mind, it supersedes their physical appearance.
Yeah. Yes. A beautiful mind. That's not easy. A beautiful mind. That means one has a beautiful soul. Yeah. And that comes by practice. By practice. Just like anything. Just like, as I mentioned in the Olympics, they're working so hard. But they're only working for 4 years. We have to give our life. We have to give our life to become pure. Again, have a pure mind, have a pure soul. When we have a pure mind, when we have a pure soul, then everything that we do will be wonderful. Just like Prabhupada, he was so pure. Devotees would see Prabhupada just drinking water or eating an apple. It was just like an amazing experience just to see Prabhupada drinking water because he was just completely infused with devotion to Krishna. So everything he did was just wonderful. This is a pure devotee. And this is it's natural for us to be pure because we're part of Krishna. We're part of the Supreme. So we're just trying to become normal again. Normal soul, pure soul. This is abnormal. Just like if someone's diseased, it's not natural. And therefore they do so many things to get healthy again. So that's what we're doing now. We're trying to become healthy again. The main disease is ego, false ego. There's false ego and there's real ego. The false ego is the disease where we think that, like I mentioned, we're American or Russian or woman or man. So this is the false ego, which causes so much pain. But then there's the real ego. I'm not this body at all. I was speaking to one student in Los Angeles in the restaurant, and I was explaining to him how we're not the body, we're the soul. And he said, well, aren't we just a little bit the body? I said, no, not at all. Not at all. We're 100% the soul within. And he appreciated that. Yeah, the body is going to die. We're going to continue. So the final exam, the big test, is when the soul leaves the body. What will we be thinking? So this practice is meant to bring us to the point where when we do leave the body, we're thinking of Krishna. And then we pass the test. Final exam, yeah, A+. Okay, anything else?
Any other questions, comments, reflections, anything you liked? Go ahead, Megan.
You mentioned we are not this body. I agree with you, but the body is our vehicle, actually, right? For here, because we are in the body.
Yeah.
Then we are a little that body. We need to take care of it.
Well, we need to take care of it.
Yes,
but
and we are blessed.
that doesn't mean we are the body. We take care of it just like you have a car. You take care of the car, right? But you're not the car, right?
Right.
Vehicle, the body is a vehicle for the soul. But that doesn't mean we are the vehicle, that we are the body. But it is, you're right, it's a great gift. There's a verse in the Srimad.
We're blessed of having it, and it's a complete way because we could not having it in this way now. You know, for example, myself, I have a dyslexia or some learning problems. They say that problem, the learning difference. Actually, I can say it's more challenge. I know I'm the spirit, but I need deal with this body also, this vehicle.
Yeah.
In the reality, then
Yeah.
it's part of me.
Well, again, although you have this defect, doesn't mean that it's part of you. I mean, you're temporarily in the body that you're in now. You were in a body before you're in this body. You're going to go on to another one. So you're completely different. Actually, it's described that the soul is surrounded by 5 airs within your body. Just like if you put a lotus leaf in the water, the lotus leaf doesn't touch the water. There's these firmaments there. So you, the soul, are not even touching the body. There's 5 airs surrounding the soul within your body. So you're not even touching it. Not only are you not your body, you're not even touching your body, believe it or not.
Interesting.
But let me explain something to you. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it said that the body is like a boat that can help us cross over the ocean of material existence. Now, the captain of the boat is the spiritual master, and there's favorable winds. The favorable winds are the Vedic literatures that help us cross over this ocean of material existence. So you're right, the body is a great gift given to us to help us grow spiritually. But we should not be illusioned thinking that I am this body. We're not the body at all.
Yes, you're right. Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. A wonderful question. Thank you.
Kurt, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
So going with what she just said, if you didn't have analogies, if you didn't have the boat analogy, if you didn't have the lotus flower analogy, let's just say you're not allowed to use analogies for the relationship between the body, because that's literally all religion survives on. Without that analogy, I'm not really sure what you have. Because my question before you said the boat thing was, if there was scientific evidence of consciousness, if there was like a signature that our soul was imprinting on material existence, like if you were reading a novel from 100 years in the future, some mystery sci-fi where someone's unraveling the mysteries of karma through like a microscope or something like that, like, and they just found hard evidence for it, what do you think that evidence would look like? Because I want verification, but it doesn't come through boat analogies and lotus flower analogies.
Yeah, to this day, with all the advancement in science, they don't know what consciousness is. And unless they sit down and read, Bhagavad Gita, have a little humility, accept, I don't know much. Either there's this pride, or they just don't want to accept any religious information to find out what consciousness is. Although there are some scientists that are understanding this. But no, analogies are good to help understand.
It's a false analogy. Anybody can say that. Oh, it's like a boat, it's like a flower. I mean, but analogies are the father of lies. It's just because it's so
father of lies. Where'd you get that?
It's the fathers of persuasion, because it sounds like a good idea, but it isn't. That's how bad ideas get sold, is through persuasion. It sounds good, but it's just an analogy, which doesn't necessarily, I don't know, it doesn't hold any water for me.
So you don't think of the body as a vehicle?
I certainly hope it is, but I really don't know, and I think I'm lacking verification, because that is the great question: is if the soul, is it like a discrete unit, or is it like attached to like a giant? Is it attached to something far away, and then it's just like strung out, and we're just experiencing this manifestation of it in this moment?
So there's some things that we just have to accept. Just like even in the Constitution, it said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equally, endowed by the Creator with
certain inalienable rights.
Yeah. So we have to hold these truths as self-evident. In other words, they don't need to be verified. They're self-evident. Okay? You can't see the soul. Right now, you're looking at your computer or your phone. You can't see air. It's not verifiable. You can't see thoughts. No one has ever seen a thought. You can't verify thoughts? Has anybody verified time? You can't verify some things because they're subtle. They're subtle, so you can't verify so many things.
I mean, I like what you're saying. But that was the whole question: is if we can't verify it, but we can, observe it indirectly. Like you can't see the wind, but you can see the drape blowing in it or the leaves blowing in it. So I'm asking for a way, if there was a way, and I'm asking you to use your imagination essentially, if there was a way to verify consciousness, either indirectly, how do you think you could do it without a boat analogy and a
You don't
flower?
like that boat analogy.
Because it just
We're gonna have to come up with some other analogy for you.
No, I read a lot
So,
of
like,
literature and it's so focused
What's
on
that?
that. It's really not
What
fun.
did she say? Someone
am
said,
I able to speak on this at all?
huh?
Because we can allow the knowledge in through reading the Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's not till we embody that as a direct experience that we can fully trust that, because we know it to be true because we've experienced it through our self. So we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to feel that we are not the body. We meditate because we become aware of our own awareness, that we are
Very good. Yeah.
parts
You
and
get
parcels. So
realization.
there's the realization. So there's the knowledge, but then there's the direct experience, and that's really how you can come to the knowledge that that is the truth.
Yeah, that's even, my friend, that's even higher than the analogy. If you chant
Yeah.
Hare Krishna very sincerely and you read Bhagavad Gita with humility, Srimad Bhagavatam with humility, you'll get realization that you're not the body, you're your soul within.
Yeah, and to be able to feel that in your heart, to know the truth of that is the experience. Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, and then the analogy just kind of backs that up.
Yeah, very good.
I mean, that sounds fine and all, but it just no, and not to throw shade on it. It just sounds like confirmation bias. You're kind of entering into a potential space of an idea where you're open to an experience for what you might realize, and then you might subconsciously hoping you experience, and then you do end up having a positive experience, and then you just confirm something that is available to every human, which is kind of, well, just confirmation bias and an addiction to their own certainty. My father, a very intelligent architect, is absolutely certain that Hinduism's satanic, and he's a hardcore balls to the wall Christian. And guess what? You're certain about your views. That I'm more interested in humans thinking they know something that they can't prove. That makes no sense.
But it's beyond a thought. It's beyond a
Especially
thought. It's in the heart. It's beyond the mind. So you can't really put it into words. It's a direct experience through the heart.
And I was just reminded of what Vaish had previously said, which is, you of course can't have blind faith because you are blindly trusting something. But he also cautioned against blind doubt, in the sense what he said was, finally you need to have come to something which you trust. Like if his example was, if the water is boiling and you say it's 100 degrees, that's why it's above 100 degrees, that's why the water is boiling. How do you know that? Well, I can bring in a thermometer and I can dip it in and show, look, it's beyond 100 degrees, that's why it's boiling. But then how do you know the thermometer is accurate and it's not faulty? Then of course you bring in a thermometer test kit which tests the thermometer to make sure it proves it's a valid, a good thermometer. But then how do you trust the thermometer testing kit, because that might be faulty? Then you bring in another thermometer testing test kit, but then you can go to infinite regress, where if you keep doubting everything, you will never reach something which you trust. So that's why when Vijay said there are some self-evident truth, so so that's, and that you need to you need to place your trust somewhere and start from there, and that's also leads to what Sherelle was saying, that then how do you know? Then it's experience, like finally you will only trust something which you experienced. So so in that case, what Vaish's suggestion was, well reasoned faith. It's not blind faith, but well reasoned. Like, does it make sense, and can you follow that? Like, is it well reasoned? So that was one of the suggestion he gave. So something to consider. Again, it's all individual. It's all personal journey. We all are in here. We can just hear others, and something might apply to us, something may not apply to us. But I'm glad that you are exploring everyone's input to see what applies to you, and I'm sure you'll find something which is right for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you'll maybe you should start a thermometer testing company and make so much money. I'll buy one.
Thank you, Kurt, and
Yeah.
thanks, Cheryl. And Negin, you have I mean, we are over time, so yeah, please do feel free to drop. But Cheryl, Negin had her hand up, so please go ahead, Negin.
Yeah, it's a short thing. Actually, it's the same as you talk about. I'm practicing to change the analogy to possibility. That's a word only. I trying to, in my practice, to change the analogy and the doubt to possibility. The word, change of the word to the possibility. Because if not, I resist lots of things. And I practice to use of word of possibility. It's the same, but it has a different way of looking to the stuff. That's
Very
it.
true.
Same as you talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Very
we
good.
are, I think this is the longest running session we have had. 6 minutes over, gone. But thank you so much, Vijay, for coming in, and very, very engaging session. And thanks everyone for wonderful questions and reflection, and really loved every answer from you. Like very, very practical, very living and breathing answer. It's not theoretical, it is what is practiced, which we all can relate to. So it was really uplifting, and really glad and to have your association today. Thank you so much, and looking forward to many more in future. And everyone, thanks again for participating. And Vijay, if you like, we can sign off with Vaish's transcendental signature slogan, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you, everyone.